Beautiful name. Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we need team names, but we'll get those in a minute. So, I think what was that? Lazy already said Team Blue is like Team Pokemon or something. Not like anyway. So we're just gonna do that for now. And if anyone from Team Red is in the chat lobby on Twitch, you're more than welcome to toss me some team name options, and I'll try to get those. If a name doesn't show up, if people don't throw out a cool name by the time that the game actually gets started, then we'll just come up with a name because it's fun and we can do a guess name. And I know that we don't have cameras or anything super fancy going on right now, but each time we shoutcast, we will get something new and fancy added, and the stream will just continue to grow as more of you guys come in and join us and hang out. So welcome to Shoutcasting with Ornaman and myself, Jake Kelton. I've been doing this for about 2 years now. We're going to have some Shoutcasting custom games. It's going to be lots of fun that you guys play. It's going to be awesome. So go ahead, and we've got ourselves a Xayah and a Lulu banned out. Very, very strong champions. I think Xayah is either 100% banned or played right now, at least that I've seen. And as a support, I know the power of Lulu, for sure.
Yeah. So at the moment, we've actually got some dirty banning going on with that Lulu right there. Briar's played with Lolo to know that he's been maining Lulu recently, so that's a little bit of a dirty ban coming out of the red side. And then you have the Xayah ban, which I almost like banning just because it's much the Yasuo mentality. It's if he's on your team, he feeds. If he's on the enemy team, he stomps. That's kind of my experience with Xayah since she's been released. Anybody on my team who plays Xayah, they feed. You look down bot lane, and how are you 0-12 at 12 minutes? You can barely even walk back to lane in that time. So we have the Xayah ban on that side, the natural Camille ban, even though she's not super powerful for solo queue right now. After the recent nerfs in the last 2 patches, she just hasn't been the absolute monster she's been. I can see the Riven ban trying to desalinate the entire arena by getting rid of the Riven, getting rid of the salty players. And to finish the lovers duo there, we have a ban on Rakan, which is actually a very strong ban. Rakan, I've seen it played very well. Oh, Lolo getting banned completely out. His 2 favorite champions have been banned out of the support pool right now. That is dirty from
bring
red
out
side.
Something new.
Looks like Lolo's being focus banned, and it seems like he's a little bit at a loss for what to pick right now.
He could also, if he's chatting with the people in the chat, he could pick for one of them and then allow himself to get a different support pick later on. Other champions that are really strong are Nami right now is a very, very strong pick as well for the support lane, and often the support is dependent on the AD carry, but apparently he feels comfortable on the Bard, which is awesome for some fun plays. This is looking like it's going to be a really fun game.
And Dead and Broken picking up his signature Lee Sin, the blind guy in the jungle right now.
Praise Urgot! Sorry.
Oh.
Gotta praise the Urgot. He's not gonna pick Urgot, but you gotta praise him before you select a champion. Otherwise, how are you gonna win the game? But
exactly.
Blind Gandhi should have played Lee Sin. That would have made a lot more sense, but is going to be picking up that Gragas instead. Probably for the jungle. He does have Ignite on, so he might be looking for mid lane or top lane. But Gragas is usually played mid lane these seasons. I don't know. Which do you think? If with Ignite.
It depends. We'd have to square out their team comp and see exactly what's happening. Gragas has been played a ton in the top lane just because he's very tanky and has an excellent laning phase with his happy hour passive, restoring a percentage of his health every time he casts a spell. That is, of course, an excellent thing for laning phase. And he gets very tanky, and his ultimate and the CC he brings to the table is very, very, very strong. We've got perhaps a Garen pickup, so that would mean Gragas in the mid lane. Garen is actually probably the best top laner for solo queue right now. Completely underrated, as most people go. Oh, yeah, actually, Strategic Smith looks to be taking Garen in the jungle.
Unless they're planning on trading, which is always an option. They could trade. And that's what I was going to make was Gragas. I was mulling on it just now, thinking Gragas is actually really strong if the player knows how to play him, because he's such a flex pick for top lane, mid lane, jungle, or support. The only one that he doesn't do is AD carry. The rest he can do super well to decently well. So we'll see if it's going to be flexed around to Garen, if they're going to trade it up, or if he's going to be taking him top lane, and a jungle Garen would be interesting to see. We'll find out in a minute.
Hold that thought, Jake. We've got a Kalista locked in. This is going to be an incredible skill matchup in the bot lane between Lucian and Kalista. Two very, very high mobility, high damage AD carries. Basically, what we've got here is burst versus sustained damage. If Lucian can manage to land his combo right up front, he's going to chunk Kalista down to probably a third health, and that could be disastrous for Kalista. But there's a mechanic there that most people don't know about, because Kalista's been out of the meta for a very long time, but she can actually dodge Lucian's Q in the early game with her dash. So if we have a very, very large skill matchup in the bot lane, and whoever gets snowballed ahead is going to be a major impact on late game team fights. Kalista has the ability to take over a game, if that's possible. And one thing we forgot to add is that Zach debugging is playing. Oh, what? The switch? Okay.
Messing around a little bit.
Switch.
And I did kind of call it a little bit over. I'm just going to call him Team Demacia because they got Garen on it. It is Garen in the top lane and Gragas support in that bottom lane. I like what a lot of these players did, which was trade up, which is really cool for a solo queue game. You might not necessarily be on Skype with people, but that's really, really awesome. And then even more so, they kept their abilities kind of hidden, where their lane was going to go, kind of hidden from anyone else that could be watching, by keeping the flash ignite for a lot of their champions before they did finally switch right before the game went in. So that's a really good play if you want to just be smart and try to play really, really well. If you're really confident in your lane, yeah, go ahead and grab the right runes and masteries, it won't matter, or the right spells. But I'm going to run through the champions real quick, and then we're going to discuss players and their strategies. So for the blue team, Team Pokemon, gotta catch them all for Bard, at least getting those chimes. We're going to be playing Lolo in the bottom lane. Going to be playing Bard in the support. Debugging, taking Zac in the jungle. Sir Climax with Renekton in the top lane. The Black Death, Kalista in the bottom lane AD carry role. And Smiteless to finish it off with Orion in the mid lane. And over on Team Demacia, Blind Gandhi taking the bottom lane support Gragas, who should be fun to watch. Dead and Broken with Garen in the top lane. Strategic Smith taking Lee Sin in the jungle, Ninfangs with Lucian in the bottom AD carry role, and Lion Hunger 93 with Ari in the mid lane. So lots of skills to dodge on that team for sure. Unfortunately, you can't dodge Garen's ultimate, and I love seeing Dead and Broken try some new champions in the top lane. So talk about team strategy, and then make your choice as to which team you think is going to win.
All right, on the blue side, we've got a very, very strong team composition right here. We have Lazy or Debugging on Zac right now. Now, the advantage of, I had personally experienced the awesomeness that is Debugging Zac, but a possibly overlooked combination right here is the Zac ball delivery system. So we have a great team, making some an excellent team fighting comp right here. We have Zac's elastic slingshot throwing the ball, Oriana's command protect on into the middle of the team, the knock up, the knock out into the Oriana ultimate, just a massive team fight, followed up by the Kalista in doing massive damage, tossing Bard into the middle for a secondary knockup, Renekton there doing AoE damage to the entire team. We have the possibility for a true wombo combo right here. On the opposite end of the spectrum, though, we have massive pick potential coming out of the red side. We've got Ari with the charm, we've got Lee Sin with the dash and the kick, Garen with the Garen Brush of Death. Anybody who's played in the early seasons knows exactly what I'm talking about. And the Gragas ultimate to spread teams apart. We have excellent single target burst damage, so we have a pick comp versus a team fighting comp. If the team fighting comp can get to late game and force fights, I think blue side will win. However, if it turns out to be a normal solo queue game, I'm going to have to put my money on red side that they would get their snowballed ahead. So it entirely depends on which teams and how they play it.
For
what
sure.
do you think, Jake?
I'm probably going to say that just because that's how I am, I would love to see I think it's blue team. I want to say, is the team on the left blue?
Hmm.
I want to say the Callista Oriana, especially with the Bard. I'd love to see Bard come out huge, and there'd be some really big plays made, a lot of really cool opportunities for some good team fights there. And if it happens, it happens. If not, we'll see. We'll see what goes on. But I did want to note it's really, really cool. I love the stats I'm kind of tracking here, and that is that Lee Sin has been in all 3 games. This is the 3rd game we've shoutcasted, and he's been in all 3 games so far. So he's played a lot, and I believe, I'm not positive, but I believe he has been in every winning game so far. So the team that picked up Lee Sin definitely has a hefty advantage so far. That's pretty cool, but loading, Briar, loading. Give me a second. It's working on it. Sometimes the stream does take a little bit longer to load. I'm still working out some of the kinks. It's being a little bit funky when it's trying to transition from the picks and bans to the loading screen. For some reason, the actual Twitch takes a little bit longer to finalize and load that. But also, Lulu, another interesting stat so far. Lulu has been banned out every single game, every single Shoutcast game as well. So obviously, Lulu and Lee Sin are some high priority picks for our little Shoutcasting thing. And I know they do that.
I just think everyone hates Lolo. Because those are his favorite champions.
Yeah, that's true. I think Leona has only gotten banned out once, but Lulu and Leona both got banned out, so definitely heavy banning against him. But that's why I'm excited to see his Bard, is because if he's also got a skin for it. You know, if you got a skin, that means you got skill.
Dude, skin to win, man.
Yeah, running through these skins, Lolo with a Snowy Day Bard, Pool Party Zach on debugging, SKTT1 Renekton with Sir Climax.
Oh, they've got SK Telecom, man.
Oh yeah,
there's no way they can lose.
And I didn't have time to run through the rest of it, but I'm sure that Red Team has some beautiful skins as well. Hopefully, as soon as it loads in just a second, we'll be able to see that. And what's weird is I need to actually switch these around if I'm going to be doing this, because that's Red Team over here. Has the game actually loaded and started for you yet?
Yes. Yes, it has.
No, I mean loaded, but like have the champions loaded?
There it is. Around? They're just appearing.
Okay,
now.
so we are on the same timing. It just meant that we loaded into the game faster than everyone else, which is rare. Not usually do you load into the game as a spectator faster than the game itself does, but that's cool. So running off a nice lease in there. Coming for you, Troy. So what is the lane that's going to be really critical for Red Team? I think you predicted the Red Team was going to win, right?
Well, no, I was saying that it depends on their playstyle. Personally, I would like Blue Team to win because I'm all about team fighting. As an AD carry main, I love a good team fight. Laning phase, on the other hand, that's more just something to survive. I think that the critical player, the critical matchup here is going to be the mid lane, because on the mid lane rests both the pick potential in the Ahri that could snowball the bottom lane, or the top lane matchup, depending on what's going on, or the Oriana, who is like the crux of the Wombo combo that Blue Team's going to depend on for their fight. So I'm going to say that mid lane is probably the critical matchup. We've got two fairly heavy split push-oriented champions in the top lane right now. So, of course, if Garen can get ahead of Renekton, then that's going to be a pretty big deal, pushing down towers, moving toward the eventual inhibitor push in the late game. But, you know, top lane can very often be an island, so I don't think, unless there's some pretty crazy teleport plays going down, that's going to influence the map too much. That is excellent coming off onto that red buff, getting bugging on Zach, whose early clear is somewhat lackluster. Let's
be honest.
Yeah. So, any opinions on that? That's a good opening trade for Dead and Broke. Nothing too exciting in the farm fest that is top lane. Few minions going down. The bottom lane looking like the most important thing they're going to be running for is level 2 with the Targon's Brace proc onto the Gragas. By the way, we both were apparently wrong. It is support Gragas, which is actually a fairly good pick. Late in the LCS, I think it was SKT in the game. They played support Gragas. because the Stoneborn Pack, every time Dragon throws a barrel, there's the potential to get for the AD carry to get 25 health back. That is a
nice
very bold trade down at the bottom.
Yeah, in the top lane, Sir Climax down to about half health there. We were asking earlier which lane I want to see, and I'm definitely interested in seeing how these supports do, because they're going to be a little charm onto the smite list. He's going to just shield himself back up. A little bit of proc there from Thunderlords. Nothing too terrible going on, but these supports in the bottom lane, while they aren't necessarily killers themselves, depending on how they play, if they can get their AD carry really fed and rolling, it's going to help the team fight a lot, because Lucian is one of those characters that can easily solo a champion down by himself, and then Kalista is the same thing. She can get lost into a team fight throwing all those spears, rend, and the entire enemy team just falls apart. So it's going to be on these supports to get their AD carry rolling and to get these good trades in the bottom lane. And they're taking slightly unconventional supports. You don't see these supports played a lot in games these days, and so it'll really be interesting to see how well they do.
Now let's just be honest, Jake. You just want to see Bard do well. You have an uncommon attraction to the Bard that I've never entirely understood.
Bard is just silly, okay, man? He doesn't say anything. He twinkles and I don't know. He's Bard, man. He does. Bard things.
You love that Bard, man.
He does Bard things. So nothing too crazy so far. Orion is getting a little bit ahead in the mid lane, about 10 farm CS over the Ahri, but doesn't take Ahri too long, especially when she hit level 6 to get a lot of that farm back.
We've got a gank
Zach
coming
down
down.
to the bottom lane, down to half health there. He's going to immediately have to back out from that one. Just a touch of damage, but nothing too scary.
Looking like in the top lane, Dead and Broken's getting a slight lead over the Renekton. It's bold trading into those minions. But it works out pretty well for him.
Yeah.
Sir Climax. But we've got Lee Sin in the top lane, so that very well could turn into a gank. But
the Black Death getting down to low health there, gonna immediately rend onto the Gragas. However, Ninfang's chasing in, got the double hit. Oh, almost got the kill. Very low health, and I think she did not burn the heal. I fully expected the burning of the heal, but she grabbed one of the health pots, and that's why her health jumped back down. There we go, from Bard. There's just sneaky little things to get that extra health. Zach still hanging around in the bottom lane, may want to engage.
What we're going to be looking for here is the elastic slingshot coming over the wall. It very well could open up. If Lucian, the trigger for this gank would be that if Lucian uses his relentless pursuit to dodge an ability or to go aggressive, that would open up Lazy to be able to come in on a gank path. Otherwise, if Lucian is a decent... Oh, we've got the windup.
Oh, he perfect! I was looking for that. The nice buy-in from Bard. However, the Gragas immediately doing the knockback on both of them. The Black Death chasing in a Blind Gandhi. He's got a pretty good amount of the health. He has been slowed by debugging and looks like he will back off. And that is actually extremely costly for Team Pokemon's jungler to be able to sit in that bottom lane as long as he did and not be able to get anything from it. But you see there, the ward and the Tribush actually had vision for Red Team Demacia. They were able to see Zach every now and then and kind of predict when he was going to get that jump, but it was still a nice binding from that Bard to start it off.
Now the question, something that just came up that I was just watching in this top lane matchup, because these two have been dropping to very low health, but both have ways of recovering that health. Garen with his passive, and Renekton also
in the mid
when he builds.
Gonna jump on a Smiteless. So that's a nice ultimate, pulling him into the tower. One more tower shot would finish. Nice flash there from Smiteless. Our Bard's here. There's the lockup onto Lionhugger, the support. Roam. Lionhugger very low health, so Judas with as well, but debugging is chasing on the Lee Sin. There's gonna be the magical journey from Lolo chasing in, but nobody has boots. This is a very slow. There's the flash from the from Lolo to finish her off, so he knew the exact range on that Bard Q and finished it off. Very close fights in the mid lane, but go ahead, you were saying. First blood.
Very well played from the Bard, and you know you're loving this. Now, what I was about to say about that top lane matchup is I don't know how this interaction works, but Renekton right there could have blown his ultimate. It does give him health back, Garen's ultimate works on a missing health basis. That helps recover very well to save his life. Now we've got a very heavy trade, Lucian doing Lucian things down in the bottom lane. We have, this is a very interesting itemization from the AD carries, aside from the massive CS deficit that Kalista's under right now. You have Callista, who's itemized the attack speed on the recurve bow, versus my personal preference. Lucian has gone Vampiric Scepter, who's got a level 6 fight together. And that's going to put those two under the bottom.
Gragas is going to be going in, going to get some nice curve damage onto the Black Death. He's got the heal running away. Nice knockup there from debugging, but the Callista did go down. That's going to immediately follow up. There's that full culling that might be able to take out both. Zach's passive has been popped. Oriana is rushing down here, but I don't know that she'll get there in time. Zach goes down as well. Looks like she's going to continue. She is going to be seen by a ward there, so if they're paying attention, they will notice that Ninfang's very low health, very low mana as well. Just going to be turning straight onto this tower. Here comes Oriana. Gragas going to alter away from the tower. She may still be able to get in and actually fight Ninfang's. Callista's heading out from the...
Where is Ari? Why hasn't she roamed down to protect
Nope, Ari's just pushing the mid lane tower. Oriana's still chasing in. However, Lucian dashes should be able to make him safe, and Blind Gandhi as well. Smiteless speed boost not going to be enough. Just going to head back towards the mid lane and try to stop some of that damage. So a 3 for nothing for Team Demacia in the bottom lane from a beautiful start by Gragas, sliding underneath that tower and tanking it for Lucian to get all that damage down.
That was an incredibly well-executed dive for a completely random game. What happened there is Gragas walked in, being tanky, he's kind of like having a Braum or something like that in the bottom lane. He walks in knowing that they have level 6 threat over the Callista. Remember what I said in the championship, like that this is a game of burst versus sustained damage. If Callista can dive around and jump up and around and through and get her spear stacking, Ren is a very, very heavy threat. However, the first 1 or 2 auto attacks, that's not much of a big deal. Hold on a second, we might have a game.
Zach coming in the top lane, gonna try to get the bounce down, but a nice flash there from Dead and Broken is gonna make sure that he's safe, and he's just gonna immediately back off from that. As well as he's getting a little bit hard to kill with that mallet, and doesn't seem like Renekton's bothering him too much, as he's also still 20 farm in the lead, so he's finally cut himself a little bit of an advantage. Zach still around the corner looking to see if he can re-engage.
Oriana doing an excellent job of zoning with the ball, keeping Ari out and away from the minions. Now, I think that's going to spell the end of this bottom lane. We've got 49 farm to 89 farm. There's a 40 CS advantage in bot lane, plus 2 kills. Lucian is incredibly strong right now. And I think that does come very much back to the AD carry itemization, plus solo.
Oh, nice binding there onto Ninfang. However, he's going to turn around, culling. However, that's going to be Callista pulling. Nice stop there. There's Bardard as well to keep her safe for just another second. Strategic Smith underneath the tower, but it is going to spell death. Magical Dirty for Lola. He's trying to escape. That's going to be the jump from debugging, but it might be another 3 kills going back to Team Demacia. Same 3 in the bottom lane, but Lisa now able to come in and soak some of those assists as well. So it is spelling disaster for Team Pokemon in that bottom lane. They start really nice with those bindings by Bard, and yet still end up going down because the Lucian is just too strong. And
so it's that interaction I was talking about.
Almost finishes off the Garen in the top lane. He lives with a sliver of health, despite being stunned underneath the tower. In the mid lane, Smiteless almost going down there, may actually be finished off and does go down. Great bouncing back and forth from Strategic Smith to get those shields down and keep the damage. And it is action happening all across the map as people are going down left and right. And unfortunately, all of it is Team Pokemon just falling left, right, and center. Now Ninfang's trying to get a little bit of damage, but might slow down in this bottom lane just a little bit as they back off.
Yeah, so we've got 2 turrets missing in the bot lane. That is very huge. Plus, Lucian got solo turret gold, so he's basically up 5 kills, plus another 3 kills in CS. Hold on, we've got a gank in the mid lane.
Debugging, jumping onto Lion Hunter. He's been chasing him around now into the river. There's going to be a Scuttle Crab. Might be able to dispel the death of Lion Hugger, and that is debugging just too much. He's water. He's just a gelatin water ball, so the river is his domain, and he says, "Get out of here, you foxy fox."
Is Jello really that good? I mean, I had never mixed Jello with water. You know, this is delicious.
It makes him really hard to hit. That's why Ari had a difficult time, hitting him, because he's just so squishy. Everything you try to throw at him just passes right through.
I mean, you are You are an incredible fan of Jello, aren't you, Jake?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Jello. Big fan of the Jello. No, I don't water it down too often. It gets a little too soft for my taste. It becomes a soup. You just kind of drink it. But in this case, you have to drink a lot if you're gonna down Zach, because he's turning into a really big guy. He's got that Cinder Hulk build starting, so he's going to be looking for those tank items. And the nice flash there from Sir Climax on Nin Fangs. Here's Zack as well. Can they get this Lucian down? Finally, double dash by Sir Climax. And the culling on to debugging. Way too much damage. And Lucian able to pick up 2 kills in the top lane. He's becoming a monster. Go ahead. That was an opportunity that I was giving over to you for casting a play-by-play, but that's all right. Nice jump there from Lee Sin.
A monstrous outplay by Lucian in the top lane just happened. Now, what instigated that fight is that Lazy on his Zac was coming up with the elastic slingshot and was going to be out of vision for that engage. So Lucian decided that he was going to go hard aggro onto the Renekton, knowing that if he managed to keep his distance, he would be safe. By the same token, actually right now we have Aaron absolutely dumping.
Absolutely right. In the top lane, debugging, get a nice knock up on 2 members of Team Demacia. Lolo throwing out the ultimate, just going to be stunning up those minions. A nice slow down there, but not going to be enough. The chase is on. Here's Strategic Smith, though. This is going to spell disaster for a lot of members. Ninfang solo helps her Climax, trying to finish him off. Blind Gandhi gets the kill, and finally, that's going to be finishing off the Lucian. But now debugging in a really bad situation, maybe going down as well. Looks like Barter's already backed up. A great sound, Blind Gandhi. The passive has been procced from Zac. He may be going down, he still does get down. The charm onto Lolo as Ari comes from behind. The teleport in from Garen, and the entire whiff ultimate from the Orianna. Smiteless knows it's going to be the end, gets charmed, and that's going to be another kill, as this game is entirely in the hands of Team Demacia. It's going to be a record-breaking turnaround if Team Pokemon is able to come back in this. They still have some of the capabilities if they were to true 5v5 with a great lead-in by Orianna and the Zac. I'm actually a little bit surprised they haven't made use of that ball delivery, and you saw that Orianna just completely whiffed her ult because she was all by herself, but we'll see.
And that's a heartbreaker for Lolo, who made an excellent binding to possibly snare. And Lolo gets caught out on the bar, taking a magical turn. That had no.
That is what supports do most often, get caught out because they're trying to ward and get a little bit of vision and just go a little bit too far, and I am well familiar with that happening right there.
Yeah. But the heartbreaker in the top lane for... Oh, hold on. We have the potential for an engage, but I don't even know if blue team wants this fight.
Smiteless flashing out to make sure he stays alive. Debugging, kind of clear a ward here, try to keep some of that vision out. But Dead and Broken doesn't even care, just jumping right into the enemy team. Pushing the blue team off of that mid tower and just bullying them out. It is a 4v5 at the moment, as the 5 members of Team Demacia are destroying the base, taking down the tower, and now pushing on to the inhibitor. This might be the final steps to the end of the game. It doesn't look like they're going to end right now. Baron hasn't even come up yet. Dragon just coming up in about 5 seconds. It's an Infernal, which if the Team Demacia gets it, which I don't see why they wouldn't, will be
broken BMing the enemy team.
Which, to be something to note here, I've never seen, except for the final games in this NA spring split, somebody taunt in game. And who was Bjergsen against in the final games?
Say that again. I lost it for a second.
Whoever was playing against Bjergsen in the mid lane of the spring split for the NA spring split. Whoever it was, they actually taunted, and I'd never seen somebody character taunt in the middle of a game in the championship game.
That is a bold thing to do when you're facing up against Bjergsen.
And they won that game, but they lost the series, and TSM actually won it. But yeah, this game is just so incredibly 13,000 gold in the hands of Team Demacia. Definitely going to be closing out the game probably in the near future. But we've seen teams kind of languid a little bit when it comes to closing out. So it looks like they may just be waiting around for Baron at this point. Oh, Nymphix damage so much on Mr. Climax, and that culling just destroys him with the
And
blade
that's
of the rune
the power of Lucian if he gets ahead right there. Lucian is just a crazy 80 carry, but he has to get ahead early. He's like Draven, very high mobility. However, he doesn't have the ability to do damage when he's close by. He's not putting his opponents under any kind of pressure. Right now, he's 7 at the bottom lane, so absolute monster. Getting close to doubling the CS of the Black Death. Callista is so far behind. And really tell.
Oh, that's going to be debugging, trying to get this fight started. Dead and Broken just going to be demolishing, but a nice shield there actually keeps him alive. So 4 members still alive for blue team. Team Pokemon trying to hold on to the shambles of their base. Or Climax getting a nice stun on Dead and Broken. He's backing off. Blind Gandhi looking for an engaged Ninfangs around the corner. We've seen his damage before, and they look like they're just going to be focusing on the structures. Also, what I was trying to say earlier was Jensen was the one who was taunting against Beardson and ended up losing the series. So that teaches you not to taunt in championship games, ladies and gentlemen. Just wait for the game to be over, then throw out your taunts, but don't do it early. So it looks like Team Pokemon may be the end of the game. Smiteless very low health. Oh, gets a beautiful ult! That's going to be immediately cleansed, but Orion still gets finished off there, and that's going to be the death of Renekton as well. There's just way too much damage for Red Team, and debugging is about to fall. Callista goes down as well. Lucian picking up the Zac. Lolo on the run. That little bard is not going to go anywhere. No magical journey for him, and that's going to spell the end of the game. 25 kills to 3. Team Demacia truly and absolutely demolishing.
19 minutes and 37 seconds, the game ends. Not even enough time to surrender.
No, not even any Baron for that game either. Just every lane very strongly in the hands of Team Demacia, and that was a very, very decisive